What's going on, guys? Mickle here. Today I'm going to give you a very quick video. A lot of people have been asking me for a price chart analysis, a quick update going into the weekend, so I'm going to give you that. I'm going to give you some updates that I saw on Twitter, another line I noticed in the document. One of them was actually pretty crazy, so make sure you stick around for that. Guys, happy Friday to all of you. Thank you so much for helping me out on this channel. It really means a lot. I love making these videos. I've had a ton of fun with it, and you guys have been so supportive in the comments. So let's jump right into this. I'm going to make it quick so you guys can enjoy your Friday. Go have some fun, get away from the charts, and let's jump right into this video. At the XRP chart, it's been doing the same thing for the last couple weeks. If we look in and we zoom in right here, we can see that we're just bouncing around in this ascending channel. This is kind of what we expected. I expect a breakout to happen very soon. Maybe at the end of this channel. It's really hard to say. We're probably going to keep grinding up in it until eventually we just get a big candle popping into this top region right here and eventually blow up out of it. If we look back at the last pattern right here, the last time this played out, we saw the same thing. We kind of just grinded up until this channel until just randomly one day we pumped out of it, pumped back down, and then just blew right out the top. This entire pattern has been very similar, and if you guys haven't seen this before, just pause the video, take a look at this, and you'll be able to see everything I'm talking about. I numbered everything, put the patterns everywhere. Should be pretty easy. It will probably blow your guys' mind how similar these things are. I expect some bullish momentum going into the breakout of this pattern at the end of here for two reasons. One, because that's what happened last time. The other reason is because almost every other high cap crypto is past its all-time high. XRP is one of the best coins out there. It will catch up to the rest of the market. You guys just have to be patient, let things play out, because sometimes a shakeout doesn't always have to do with price, but has to do with time. Sometimes you just got to be able to sit on your hands and wait things out better than everyone else in the market. I think those who are patient are really going to be benefited with XRP. Everything's playing out exactly how we've expected it to be thus far. And even if we do have a random shakeup, guys, it'd really take a lot to shake me out of XRP. The fundamentals are incredible. I've studied so many different cryptos and I cannot find anything even close to XRP. Obviously, I love quant, I love HBAR, but XRP is really on a whole nother level in my opinion, and for now we're just waiting to see if we grind up in this channel. Maybe we'll get some SEC news at the end of it. Maybe we front run the SEC news and blow out of here and then get the SEC news after the pump tops out, so retail FOMO's in at the top of the next pump. Ultimately, guys, I think we're popping out of this triangle to the upside. I wouldn't be too worried about it. For now, we sit back and wait, and we'll have a pretty awesome video when something new changes, and we can really do a big update on what's going on. Hopefully, that comes when we first make above this top trend line right here, and that's when I'll make one of these videos, and we'll really dive in depth on what's going on here. The next thing I wanted to jump into was I was actually, if you guys didn't see, I did a video the other night, lawyer Mickle style, for those of you guys who watched that, where I essentially broke down the last ruling by the SEC, by the court in terms of the Ripple SEC lawsuit. And I went back and I read it again because Jeremy Hogan actually responded to one of my tweets on Twitter. If you guys aren't following me, make sure you go check it out. It's in the description. If you haven't seen Jeremy Hogan's video, make sure you check those out. I'm sure you have. I don't think anyone out here found Mickle before Jeremy. But he did explain to me Rule 33B3 on Twitter. And essentially what he said is, essentially what the judge is saying is that when the SEC answered a lot of these questions throughout the document, they kind of just gave the same answer throughout the entire document, or as a response to a lot of these questions, which is essentially what they said was, hold on, he said, "Good question, glad you saw this. Overall, all over the order." Basically, the rule says that you can't just reference another answer or something else when you answer a question. So those places the SEC says see amended and complete, etc., they have to fully answer. So it seems like a lot of these places on the Rule 33B3, the judge is saying that your answer was not sufficient, give us a new answer. but I guess maybe she could make a second ruling afterwards in terms of what she thinks about it. But it's more just, it seems like these Rule 33b3 places, it's her saying, all right, come back with the information, answer the question in a proper way, and then I guess she'll make a ruling based on that answer. I made in the video last night, I didn't know entirely what this Rule 33b3 meant. I noticed it was on a couple rulings. I wanted to give you guys an update on what it meant because I did mention it in the last video. So just know that there's probably multiple statements in here that the SEC is going to come back and have to give us another answer to, and then the judge will probably make a call going forward on that. The other thing I really wanted to point out, and I thought this was pretty crazy, the SEC says in this document, the SEC opposes on the grounds that the interrogatory is valuable and ambiguous. And this is in response to Ripple essentially compelling the SEC to state whether it contends Bitcoin and Ether are securities. And the SEC says, and it misapprehends the SEC's decision-making process, which generally does not make determinations into specific financial instrument status. Guys, for those of you who follow this lawsuit, this is kind of a crazy admission. They're saying the SEC generally does not determine whether a specific financial instrument is a security or not. So, what does this mean? Well, what I really took from this is that's exactly the reason we have this lawsuit. When you really think about it, if the SEC does not make specific determinations into the status of specific instruments, then that really means that whether or not the SEC under Bill Hidman misled the market and made the market believe Bitcoin and Ethereum are not securities, this is saying essentially the SEC admitting they don't even really have the power to actually decide whether a financial instrument is a security or not. And that's because the SEC doesn't make the rules. Congress does. And this is also a very likely reason why Gary Gensler refuses to answer the question whether these things are securities or not. He just can only say, I think it's clear, but in all aspects, he can't actually answer if things are securities because the SEC doesn't have the ability to say whether they're securities or not, because that's the job of Congress to make the rules. So why did the SEC sue Ripple? Well, what another body that can make the rules outside of Congress is the courts. The courts have the ability to create law through essentially their decision making. What the SEC lawsuit was made to do was the SEC sued Ripple in order to create law outside of Congress. Congress is extremely politicized in today's day and age, and they're focused on a million other things other than crypto. Gary Gensler was an MIT professor, and honestly, I personally believe he might care less whether or not it ends up being a security or non-security. It's really hard to tell on his stance. He's a very neutral guy. But one thing's for clear, he wanted this lawsuit to happen. And I think another thing is clear, if you go back and watch past interviews of him, he does not hate crypto. He thinks crypto and blockchain are going to revolutionize the financial markets and essentially create a new standard for a financial system. Whether or not that gets done through securities, these things being securities or commodities, I personally don't think it matters. I don't think they're going to kill the innovation. I think what this lawsuit was meant to do is say, this is what these things are, this is what they're not, and here's legal precedent for why that's the case. The SEC says right here they do not have the power to make determinations as to the specific status of a financial instrument. They are admitting that they really never had the right to declare what Bitcoin and Ethereum were, and they just said, oh, we don't really look at these things as securities right now, but that doesn't mean they're not securities. They don't have the right to say if they're securities or not. That's not part of the rules that they have to go by. All they're allowed to do is give their opinion. But what they did with Ripple is allowing the court to make this determination. They sued Ripple for selling securities, but they can't say whether they are actually securities or not. That's up to the court. So they are essentially putting this issue front and center in front of the courts because Congress has refused to say anything on it. In my opinion, this is all a plot to create clarity in the crypto markets. No matter which way it swings, I don't think innovation is going to be killed. I think this is going to be figured out. I honestly think so far, judging by what's happening in the courts, they are going to be ruled to be non-securities. You never know what happens. Either way, I want you guys to understand that I think this is going to work out for the best. We're going to have clarity in the markets, and the U.S. is going to be a leader in innovation for a new age financial system. Guys, thanks for stopping by. This was Mickle. I'm so glad you guys have been enjoying the videos. Keep subscribing, guys. It really helps me out so much. It's so easy to do. Like the videos, and for now, Mickle out.